Okay, we're going to look at binomial expansion. Remember, binomial is talking about two terms. And the expansion is that each time my exponent increases and I have more and it expands. We're going to start with just the structure this time, and then later on in other videos we'll look at actually the use of it. So if I just have x plus y raised to the first, it's just that. But every time that I increase, I have more work to do, and I've gone ahead and put that pattern in there. But you can imagine if I had to do x plus y raised to the 6, I would have to do 6 sets of these, and that could be pretty chaotic, especially considering that I can only do 2 at a time. So rather than having to do that, there are some cool patterns that we can use to save us a lot of time. And the Pascal's triangle from Mr. Pascal is the way that he recognized that pattern. Now, it's always going to have the ones on the outside of my triangle, but you can notice some kind of similarities to it. The 1 and the 1, here's my 1 and my 1. Then I have 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, and that just mimics that. Now, how that pattern increases is 1 and 2 makes 3, 2 and 1 makes 3, 1 and 3 makes 4, 3 and 3 makes 6, 3 and 1 makes 4, and so forth. So if I wanted to find the 6th row here, I would put 1, I would add those 2 up to get 6, 5 and 10 would be 15, 10 and 10 is 20, 10 and 5 is 15, 5 and 1 is 6, and then end with my 1, and I could essentially write out my binomial expansion. But notice the variables here. So we've got the numbers in front, but it starts with the x at the highest, and it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, nothing, and then it goes backwards with the y's, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, nothing. So I can start off by putting my variables in. So I'll have x to the 6. There's no y, that'd be y to the 0. And then I would have x5, and I would give a y, x4, y2, x3, y3, x2, y4, x1, essentially, y5, and y to the 6. So those are my actual variables, and then I'm just going to plug these numbers in front. So I have 1, this is just plus, so plus 6, plus 15, plus 20, starting to give myself room here, plus 15, plus 6, plus 1. And it's so much quicker than actually timesing these pairs each time to get to it. So what we do is we can use this now in a little bit more complicated scenario when I have more than just an x and a y. I'm raising it to the 4th, which means I want to have this row right here. And I've copied it down. So you can see I've taken that row, x to the 4th, put that whole value in there that way. If I had x to the 7th or raised to the 7th power, I'd have to know the 7th row. And then I separated things out because I'm going to have to insert things in place. Notice that I'm keeping that 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So the number itself from Pascal's triangle remains in position. But my x here is not just a regular x, it's a 4x. So I need to put 4x in any of my x positions. And so he's got 4, 3, 2, 1, nothing. And then I'm going to put my y, but notice that it's going to be that negative as well. So it's going to be a negative 3y, negative 3y, negative 3y, and negative 3y. So everything's in position now for me to find those final values. And it's going to be a little chaotic here. So pardon me for a second here. I'm going to pull up my calculator so that I can keep him going along with our calculations. So I'm going to do 4 to the 4th, which is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. And I only times that by 1, so I have 256x to the 4th. So there's my first term. The second one, I'm going to have a couple here. So I'm going to go ahead and write those out. I'm going to have 4 and 4 to the 3rd, which is 64. And then I'm going to have an x cubed, and I'm going to have a -3 and a y. I hope I didn't make that too confusing there. I was just pulling out all the coefficients first so I can see them together. And then I'm going to see that x cubed y, which I expect, because see how they have the x cubed y there? That's going to be in that second term. So back over here, I'm going to have 4 times 64 times a -3 is going to give me a -768 x cubed y. And I'll go ahead and bring this guy down here. Whoop. X to the 4th. Okay, so again, I'm going to do 6. I'm going to have 2 sets of numbers, and then the x squared, y squared. I can just kind of pull those out separately. So I'm going to have 4 squared is 16, and 3 squared. Now this is a -3 times a -3, which is a +9. When you have negatives, you're going to see that your signs change back and forth. So I'm going to have 6 times 16 times 9 is a +864 x squared y squared. You getting the flow for this? Then I'm going to have the 4, my 2 pairs of numbers, x, y cubed. Now this is just 4 to the 1st, so that's just 4, but 3, a -3 cubed is a -27. So over here I'm going to have 4 times 4 times 27, and I'm going to get that -432 x y cubed. And then the last one here, notice again I'm going to have 4 negatives, so it's positive. 3 to the 4th is 81 x to the 4th. But you can notice that my variables mimic what you see here, but I had to substitute in some bigger ones. And without doing a lot of chaos, that would be what 4x minus 3y raised to the 4th totals up to. So you can do it by finding that final level. If you need to find the 7th one, find it in there and bridge those values down, and you'll find that it's not too bad to work with.